I never had anybody influence my decision. I was strong enough mentally to say no or yes to something that I wanted to do. And if it was something wrong, and I deal with that consequences, and if it was a mistake, I wouldn't make that mistake again. That was the difference. We all make mistakes. I wasn't a perfect child by far, but if it happens over once or twice, is it really a mistake?
What I find with this is, from speaking to lots of different people, successful people as well, is what you're describing to me is that you're very self-analytical. So from a young age, you decided like, okay, if I did this, okay, you might say maybe you made a mistake or whatever you did, you then would look back on it and think, I don't want to do that because I want to go down this road, and you could almost see the future, you know, so you were self-analyzing yourself, and by self-analyzing yourself, making better decisions moving forward.
You know what? I didn't even overthink that. I didn't even overstep that. Is the fact that I didn't want to feel like that again. So I didn't have to think about if that's going to affect this and that. By having that bad feeling, I already knew from the first step. And the other thing is that I saw as a bit of a curse in the beginning was having like that sixth sense, because I had from a young age dealing with people's different emotions and feelings, dealing through drugs and alcohol, the circumstances of body behaviors and actions. I've always been super observant of that, and I do it now so naturally that people wouldn't even know that I'm doing it. I don't even realize I'm doing it. I can be in someone's company usually and go straight away. I'm like, nice guy. I say hi, and that's it. I can live with that.
You can read the people well because you
very well. Yeah. And I never say don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not that kind of guy. Sometimes I might bump into that person again, and if it changes, that's okay. But I'm smart enough to know if that person's gonna, start having any interaction with my life. Like I've always said that I have full control of my behavior, but I don't have control of others. So anybody shows me that behavior, I don't take it personal. That's a you problem, it's not a me problem. Do you understand? So when I'm in this position, I also understand there's a reason for their behavior. So I'm not going to go into detail with that. If they want to tell me that, or if they humble themselves in a way to drop the ego or drop whatever pressure they have around them to speak to me about that, naturally, then I might understand that. But if they're not willing for me to understand that, that's not my issue. They've got to work that out for themselves. You and I know people who have gone through some severe things have hit rock bottom for them to actually change their life. For people to stop smoking, sometimes they grab a doctor's alert to change that. But I'm not that person to do that. For me, prevention before injury. It's always the case. Like, I'm not going to do that if it's going to do this to me. Other people don't. They need a scare for them to stop. And that's the same rule I sort of play in every part of my life. You know, I don't try and ignore things are gonna things are gonna sabotage me. Like I want to be around positive people. Like you know the saying: if you bother with dumb people who come dumb, if you bother with wise people who come wise, if you bother with 5 millionaires, you're gonna be the 6. And that's another great motto. But even when you're around those people, you still have independent choices.
That's the thing. Like this all stems. Not that I know, but I'd say it stems for you. Like you said, when you drop your mother in your life at that moment in time, I think you then saw the positives of, let's say, I don't like using the word toxic, but negative people being dropped out of your life. So for you now, you're super understanding in that I don't want to be associated with people that have a negative effect on my life. So you were like, okay, we'll move towards positive people. The positive people I'll let into my life to improve my life positively. But if you, even if I have a sense, even if my sense is wrong, that you could be negative towards me or you could affect my life negatively, no, not interested. And you move on to the next
I've done a bit of research. I was speaking to this chap, and he said, Dan, you've got a bit of stoicism in you. And I said, what's stoicism? He said, have a little look. And I have a look. It's like an old emperor back in the day and how he thought. And right now, like you said about a lot of people need to be around positive people to be positive. I'm still not that guy. Of course, that's great. Everybody wants to be in a position where they're around positive people, of course. And you still have that one still playing victim, still. So again, that's a bit of self-work you need to do. But I'm okay on my own as well. I'm not hiding under a rock. I'm not pushing people away. But if I'm on my own, I can have food on my own. I can go for a walk on my own. You know, I can go for a coffee on my own. I can do things by myself. And that's understanding that you're happy in your own company. So whatever company comes part of that, that's okay. So I don't even have to be around positive people to be positive because I'm quite positive myself. And a lot of people say, oh, you don't wear, you can't wake up motivated every day. Mate, I fucking do. I do. I honest to God, a lot of people say, yeah, we all have bad days, but you look at today, mental health is such a big subject, Luke, right? And we got the 90s and past suffering through mental health from the past traumas. And we've got the newer generation then that's suffering through anxieties with mental health because they're so worried what's going to happen in the future. But both generations are still not focused on right now. Right now, if you focus on right now, that means you can have a little bit of a control in the future. If you focus on right now, then that means you're leaving your mind go on some of the traumas that have happened in your previous life, but still able to deal with it, but having still some positive impact on right now. Because right now we can change that. It's no point me reflecting in like, if I look back on the shit that I went through as a child, I'd be in a secure unit. Mate, it's bad.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said about the situation, I'll let my mum go, and a lot of people go, how can you not talk to your mum? Like, but do you know what things she put me through as a young child? But I don't have to explain that, but they don't understand. They can sympathize, but they can't emphasize. There's two different words, isn't it? So they don't understand it because they've never understood, because their mama or dad have given them love, basic needs, done everything what they need. And I understand that, how they can't understand that. I don't expect them to understand that. But when it comes to cutting my mum off, it was me realizing, like, what good is she going to bring me? Let's weigh it up. It's like a friendship. When I look back at some of my friends in school, I realized, fuck, I had some shit friends in school. No, you do, didn't you? You look back, you think they were your best mates in school, and you look back and think, fuck, they were so bad. But is it at least basic standard 50-50 energy? If they are not giving you that, it's got to go. And that's the way I work. You know, I'm one of those guys. I mean, if you're not giving me that the same as I'm giving you, you're a shit friend. Fuck off.
I think that's what I'm saying. So you've developed that through that, or the way I describe it, or we talk about it as like value exchange.
Yeah.
So within your life, the person you're speaking to, you talk about energy, right? You know, if they're not giving you that energy that you're giving them, there's no value to that association. And I don't have any negative effect towards you or to anything like that, but I will only deal with people, me personally I'm talking about now, that give me that value exchange. I haven't got time on this planet to deal with people that are not willing to give me value. You know, it doesn't mean that I'm using them and I'm trying to suck out value. I will give them value back. So
yeah, but again, that's exactly what it goes down to, Luke, is our principles are different to them. Like if you were driving down a school and the road sign says 30 mile an hour, does that mean you drive 30 mile an hour? No. It's the principle of it, isn't it? Do you drive slower? The law says I can drive 30 mile an hour. But again, when we're dealing with friends, I know what I can bring to the table as a friend. So if you don't, I don't mean that I need the same as much as I would give, but I at least need 50% of it. Does that make sense? So again, you know, dealing with friends, and it's not just friends, it's family. They're our burden family sometimes, you know?
Well, that's what I think I think it's interesting, your story, but I think a lot of people struggle with this, especially when you talk about friends and family, but friends too. Like, as you elevate through life, which you have done, becoming a world champion and moving up and doing everything you're doing, you become in a certain position where the people that are not helping you grow, are not feeding you, are not improving your life, you have to cut them off.